Okay, so I want to make this as informal as possible for everybody. I'll tell you a little bit of a little story about me to start. I'm pretty much a freewheeling type of guy, so if you don't understand something or something's not making sense to you, please ask a question, because one of the things that you're going to find about what I try to stand for is I'm asking questions in the profession that I think are really important to answer at some point and to start going down that path to answer it. I have a degree in mechanical engineering, and one day I just decided to go to chiropractic school, and in second quarter, and I really didn't understand chiropractic too well because I didn't really understand some of the twisting and popping. It really didn't resonate with me perfectly when I got to school. And who did I have in second quarter for philosophy? Dr. John Grostic, okay? And that guy, you know, he's here. I am here because of him today, because in the last class, in my philosophy class, he started drawing some angles and pictures and stuff like that. And I said, wow, this makes sense to be able to measure something. Well, that path for me is what I'm going to talk about tonight, okay? What I'm going to talk about is my experience, okay? It's not everybody's experience, this is just my experience. And what I've seen and what makes sense to me. And I've gone to the well at a lot of upper cervical procedures. I am board certified by 2 upper cervical methods, and which puts me in a pretty good group of 1, all right? I board certified myself in Qsm3, no different than Grostic did and Gregory did. So I want to talk to you about that path today, that experience that I've been having and what I've been doing and what I'm looking at to explain what we're trying to do as chiropractors. So, and that really goes with the human waveform. So this is where I started. I started looking at things in chiropractic school that said, hey, let's measure the structure, let's check the heat, which looks at function, let's look at the spinous orientation, let's look at the wedge, let's look at the fixation, let's look at the leg discrepancy, let's look at the curve, let's palpate it, let's check out the occipital fibers. And all these different procedures fit in, or different kind of indicators that we use in chiropractic, measuring and feeling and touching, are all part of very different procedures, right? Here we got Desjardins down here, you've got Gillet here, Gonstead, BJ, Gonstead. There's a lot of stuff that's going on there, and that's what chiropractic is about, is looking at where the spine has misaligned, where the body is misaligned, and to try to figure out what's the best method to go ahead and correct it. Fair? Yeah, okay. So what that does in that realm is we have multiple locations that we adjust at. We have a segmental relationship, PRS. The atlas is tipped up here and C2 is body right. I have a pelvis that is anterior here and it's rotated posterior there. Fair? That's what we do, all right? And we have multiple ways to look at that. We block people, we twist and crack and pop them, we look at their extremities, and it's from an articular model that we come from. And this is what we look at. An articular model is a bony model. The bone is here, and we're going to push it there. It works nicely. So, upper cervical chiropractic is after I got done with looking at that. Grostic was in class, and me being an engineer, I was like, wow, man, this makes sense a little bit more. It resonated with me. It resonated with me because I have an engineering brain. I have a degree in mechanical engineering from Tulane, so it's not because I have a degree that makes me an engineer. I have a gearhead. I mean, that's the way my brain works, okay? So I got introduced to different things. You've got BJ's look and Blair's look with condyles, and then you have the Grostic, Gregory, Atlas orthogonal, and all those groups that are looking at vector-based stuff. And what they started doing is they started measuring the stuff, and they said, hey, you know what? That atlas is the key to it all. That atlas, when we touch that, we get the best results. And you know that for fact, me not even being an upper cervical or an ex-upper cervical doctor, where do you get all the miracles? It's all the people are getting upper cervical work. That's That's a fair statement. It's not a black and white statement, of course, okay? But the majority of stuff is people are looking at the upper cervical work. BJ did great work with it and so forth. And there was this kind of split with BJ, after BJ and Blair went this way to an articular model, and then you had a vector-based stuff where Grostic, Gregory, Wernsick, and Dr. Sweat and all these other people started looking at, the Pierces started looking at vector-based stuff, and everybody's got a little bit different way to do that, okay? And what they do is they look at the relationship of the head and the neck in relationship to the atlas. There's one entry point, okay? And it's a sectional relationship encased in a segmental relationship. The atlas is here, the head is here, and the neck is there. And Dr. Gregory did a cool thing. He was president of NUCA. He did a cool thing. He built a machine called an anatometer, and he says, hey, we need to look at the whole body. It was brilliant, okay? I have his anatometer in my office, okay? And what we measure on that machine is a weight differential, the tilt of the hip, the twist in the hip, and kind of where the body sits, the vertebral prominence sits off center. And he said, hey, if we come in at a specific angle and a specific vector, guess what we can do? We can affect the whole body. And that was really cool. And I really like that. And I like the measurement. So what happened was I got into Grostic and orthospinology, and then somebody introduced me to NUCA, and I went on to NUCA, and I got board certified in that, and I was a board member, and I was on the director of the Upper Cervical Research Foundation, and I was having trouble. I was having trouble helping as many people that I could help. And I felt that it was time to start asking questions. And that's really the journey that I had, is that I've gone through chiropractic school. I graduated 20 years ago this year, okay? I've been in practice for that long. I've been doing my thing. I was started with Grostic and orthospinology. I was blocking people because I was all into SOT. I had an activator for extremities. I took Heron's work with extremities, and I had a drop table, and I was doing upper cervical work, dropping on people, blocking them, and doing extremities, and that was the Friedman package, all right? And I realized that people were coming in and they were saying, hey, I'm not getting better, I'm not getting better, I'm not getting better. And then I got a miracle. And God, those are the ones that you need, right? Because those are the ones that keep you alive in your practice, okay? But that wasn't good, okay? It wasn't good. I wanted to find some consistency, some predictability, all right? So what I did is I started looking further, and the definition in chiropractic in the vertebral subluxation complex is that we have this definition of a bone out of place. Right? And we have indicators of a bone out of place. Heat, short leg, muscle spasm, x-ray fixation, decrease of range of motion, occipital fibers, all the stuff that we have, subluxation stations, none of them tell you how to take care of the body. None of them. They just tell you what is. All right? What do we call that? It's an outcome. This is an outcome. When somebody has a heat differential, it's an outcome of what? It's an outcome of the subluxation, right? When we have a short leg, it's an outcome, okay, of a misalignment that creates a subluxation. We have a muscle spasm because of why? Didi felt that muscle spasm all the way back when he adjusted Harvey Lillard. He felt the bump on the back. You palpate people. I came into the other room before, and you guys were checking ranges of motion. You may have been doing Gonset cervical chair in there, I wasn't sure, but you're feeling all these things. We look on an x-ray, and we see this misalignment like this. It's an outcome, yes? A fixation is an outcome, all right? A decreased range of motion is an outcome. What do we call that in chiropractic? We call it a symptom. We call it mechanism. All right? They don't tell you how to fix anything. They're great because they tell you when there's trouble, but they don't tell you what to do. So I started, my experience was, hey, I want to try to figure out how to make this happen. I want to make this better. I want to put all that stuff together from here because everybody's got it right. And how do we integrate everybody together to start looking? And if you look at our definition of a vertebral subluxation complex, it has changed. It's not a bone out of place with nerve pressure anymore. It's this. It's spinokinesiopathology. It is neuropathophysiology. It is not myopathology, it's histopathology, and it's pathophysiology, which is, if you just look at this for a moment, I don't like to read stuff, but if you just look at this is what's going on. You got 5 things that are being affected, okay? And what does this include? This includes everything, guys. This is nerve, this is motion, this is muscle, this is cellular, this is disease and degeneration. And you know what? This is true, is because the human body, when it subluxates, that's what happens. And that is the vision that I create for you today, is to figure out a way to step forward and not just measure the outcome, but how do we go ahead and figure out how to make somebody better? How do we fix what we're supposed to be doing? And that's today, okay? So we have indicators that we have not been doing our job. I'm sorry to tell you. It's in chiropractic school. It's called functional. Now listen, first of all, by the way, none of these are bad. Everything is great, okay? But you know, when I go to eat Italian food, man, I don't want the guy to shine my shoes in the place, okay? Chiropractic is chiropractic. I grew up at Life with Dr. Sid. He didn't even allow PT on campus. Now, that's great. My daughter is all into functional neurology after we balance somebody out structurally, okay? Is to get the neurology right, okay? But what has happened is these things have taken place of our craft, okay? Go on the chiropractic sites. There's more practice management. I had a conversation in the car. The first thing, practice management. Because you know why, guys? Because we have to sell ourselves now. Wheels and deals and all kinds of stuff. My office is 100% cash. 100%, okay? I do whatever the heck I please in my office. I have 4 dogs that come with me every day. Joe will tell you, he was at my office. Yeah. Okay, I got a fancy car, I got a big house. I'm building another big house in a mountain. I'm making money, okay? Not because of practice management, not because I'm doing functional neurology, not because I'm making wheels and deals and all this kind of stuff. So we have to, today for me with you is, this generation needs to take our profession back. Because we have the greatest profession on the planet. I'm going to show you that today, okay? So, this is what we do right now. We look at a spot and we measure it. We measure it to minutia. I have measured things, balanced x-ray machines, drawn lines with the sharpest pencil that you could do surgery with. Okay, I love it. I think it's great, okay? It's just not enough, so I decided to stand back. And I said, hey, what's going on? And I started looking at other things in the body and how they relate. And I said, wow, man, do you think that's a bigger picture than this one? Yeah. Okay, so that little crack told me, hey, that's crack there, you know? I mean, if I got a pimple on my face and I just look at the pimple on the face and I don't look at the human body, I'm just looking at a symptom, okay? So I decided to stand back, and it started with this, is I had an awareness that I wanted to do better. And that's what I'm going to invite you to do today, okay? And it starts with the curiosity. It did not kill this cat yet, though, okay? They've tried, believe me, and they try every day. This is what I look at today, guys. This is a whole nother perception. I look at the whole thing, and what I'm going to introduce to you today is the method at which I do that at. Now, I'm going to give you a disclaimer. I will never tell you that I have all the answers. We have just opened the door to actually looking at that for the first time after 100 years. 100 years in chiropractic, and we don't do that, okay? That's called vitalism, okay? So, today I would love to be able to expand your mindset, okay? That's all I want to do. I want to expand your perception, and the best dreams happen when you're awake. I want to wake you up, because when the classroom next door says foot levelers classroom, that should be waking you up already, okay? Because I have never prescribed a heel lift or foot levelers in my office. I'm not saying they're not nice, but I leave that to the podiatrist. It's not for me, okay? It's not my job. Okay, so guys, that is our job right there. Has anybody ever seen one of those? Yeah, you've seen them a lot. Has anybody ever looked at this and said, how did that happen? How is that head related to that neck? Why is this pelvis turning and this one's going posterior? Why is this one anterior? Why is this bending here? Why is that bending there? No, we don't do that. What we do is we just measure, oh, here's a SP here, here's a wedge there, here's an angle here, there's the neck there, the shoulder is lower, I'll adjust the shoulder, here's the pelvis, I'll give it a PI over there. It ain't working. It didn't work for me, at least. It didn't work enough.